Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a new series for the year 2024. I call it Images of Music, but it's a little bit more than that because, as you all know, the classical music and music industry generally is moving away from physical product and towards streaming and digital services. And with that streaming and digital services comes a lack of certain other things like program notes, texts and translations, and most importantly and interestingly for me, album covers. Album covers. Remember, see, record labels had art departments, and those departments were responsible for creating album covers that would sell the product, which was really important because think about it. Even if you only stream things, you're going to see before you hear. So the image is all important in promoting the product. It just is, and there's no way to get around it. And unfortunately, we are getting less and less interesting and creative when it comes to imagery that represents the music. And so what I propose to do, if you guys are interested, if you people are interested, pardon me, if you people are interested, is an ongoing series on the relationship between music and the imagery that purports to sell it and promote it, as represented in some of our favorite album covers. Now, I've done a couple of videos on like the worst album covers, but this is different. This is more of a serious investigation into the creative process that underlay the marketing and sale of classical music. And we're going to miss it. We're going to miss it because, like I said, the visual element, I mean, if you could smell it before you could hear it, it would be marvelous. All of these things were instrumental in creating a market for classical music and selling the product. And hey, it's all evaporating. So I want to start with one of my absolute favorite album images. It tells us so much about classical music and classical music marketing. Oh, that's Finster. Come here, honey. Come here. Come here. Say hello. Say hello. There's Finster. She hates this, of course. She likes walking around by herself. Here you go. You take it easy, okay? That's a good girl. So anyway, albums that we love. And here it is. I just adore this cover. This cover says so much. It is, as you can see, Eugene Ormandy and the Philadelphia Orchestra doing Ravel's Boléro. Boléro, the ultimate sexy piece of classical music. Now, it was intended that way. Remember, originally, Boléro was a ballet for Ida Rubinstein, the danseuse, actrice, and general Parisian, entertainer of the, Parisian avant-garde in the 1920s and 30s in that area. And she stomped her way through Boléro, apparently on stage, after which it became not a stage thing at all. But originally it was a dance piece, a real dance piece. And here we have a cover that says so much. Now, some of you will immediately claim, oh, that's trashy American marketing, isn't it? Well, let me tell you something. There is just as much trashy European marketing going on at the same time, and we will be covering some of those as well. So fear not, my colleagues on the other side of the ocean. Your time will come, so don't get snooty about it. What I love about this is, first of all, you could never do this today. She's smoking. I mean, already it's politically incorrect. I mean, she's smoking. That's the bad thing. But the sexy, sultry, look at this. The other thing that always gets me about this is that this was for Ormandy's Boléro disc, but really the picture is Carmen. I mean, it's Carmen. It's Carmen. Carmen works at a cigarette factory. She's a sultry gypsy babe, I mean, probably didn't have the hair done quite that nicely. But the point is that sex sells. And here we have the sexiest piece of classical music out there, or one of them, and the album cover, which is trying to lure you in. I mean, of course, the smoking doesn't lure in anybody anymore, but well, maybe it does. Who knows? But the idea, the sense of dirtiness, of unsaid, mysterious, naughty bits. I mean, oh my goodness, it's all right here. And what really gets me is that I looked up all the Ormandy Carmen covers, like on Amazon, just to see what they were. Most of them were like bullfights. pictures of bullfights. I mean, it's Carmen. You think they would do Carmen, but no, they did sort of like idealized bullfight things most of the time. They didn't want to do Carmen. But for Boléro, it was okay to put Carmen, well, I mean, I'm just saying it's Carmen, on the cover. I just think this is a splendid example of how the cover of the album is designed to reflect the content. Of course, one of the contents, because there was never just Boléro. I mean, this is the Japanese Ormandy CD. You get Alborada del Grazioso and La Tombeau de Couperin and the Rhapsody Espagnole. You actually get 2 Boleros. You get Lavals. I mean, it's all on here. So Daphnis and Chloe Suite number 2. But what sells, of course, was Boléro, the most popular work, and the sexy aspect. And so here we have a wonderful bit, I think, of classical music marketing iconography from the 1960s. And I'd like to look at some more with you guys and explore just the joy of the visual image as it pertains to music. And I do this with trepidation because you know how I feel about this stuff. I mean, I believe that music is to be listened to and only listened to, and listening is the most important thing, and we have to keep on listening. But these were designed to encourage listening. And well, sex encourages listening. I mean, there's no question about that, at least, listening of a type. And so I don't think there's any harm in looking at some of these wonderful examples of how the act of listening was stimulated by the act of looking. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.